Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. This should be a fun one. Cannot wait to see the comments on this one because yesterday we put out the video and we're talking about Nico Iamaleava versus Joe Milton, a quarterback competition. And I think some of you kind of missed the boat on that video. I don't think you really understand the point. We're talking about quarterback competition. Today we're talking about Joe Milton as a possible Heisman Trophy candidate. Boogie, what is wrong with you? Have you lost your mind? Again, I think some of you missed what the point of that video yesterday was about. We're talking about one scrimmage. Nobody is calling for Joe Milton to be benched. Nobody is saying that there is a true quarterback competition. We know that this football team going into 2023 is Joe Milton's football team. This is Joe Milton's redemption story. This is the Joe Show in 2023. The video was more about how long is his leash. You know, coming out of scrimmage number one, the media reports, again, we had Coach T on the show, Tennessee football coach, high school football coach that was able to attend that first scrimmage. And he said that Joe struggled and Nico looked the part. Nico looked like QB1. Does that mean we're coming out of that scrimmage saying it's time to bench Joe Milton? The Joe Show is over and it's time for Nico Iamaleava. No, that was not the point of that video. The point of the video is how long is the leash? How long until you run out of patience? What happens if we see the Joe Milton from 2021 instead of the Joe Milton that we saw in the Orange Bowl or even the Joe Milton that we saw in mop-up duty in 2022? How good can Joe Milton be? Saw a clip from Always College Football with Greg McElroy talking about Joe Milton, called him a dark horse Heisman candidate. I want to play that clip, let you guys hear what Greg McElroy had to say, some very interesting words about Joe Milton, and then we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it, but as always, you guys know what to do. Smash that thumbs up just below the video. It's just below the video. Just hit that little thumbs up. It's quick, free, and easy, and it does help the channel. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media. We don't sit here and pretend that we know more than you do about college football. This is a community. We are for the fans, by the fans. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You're not going to miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. We're going to be live tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to break down scrimmage number 2. That takes place tomorrow. We'll go live tomorrow evening and talk about it as a group of fans. Should be a good time. Hope you guys will come hang out. But let's take a look at the comments from Greg McElroy about Joe Milton going into the 2023 season.
Joe Milton, if he can continue to progress the way he did at the end of last season from where he was at the beginning of 2021, he could be poised for a significant lead. He's already showcased just how capable he might be. Looked great against Clemson. I think he has a new lease on life, too. Being an understudy, having a better grasp of what the offense was, and getting those valuable reps at the end of game has helped him take significant strides. I think he's one of the dark horses coming into this year as a potential Heisman Trophy candidate. Now, it's early. I'm not going to lose my mind and just put this guy up there. I'm going to resist that temptation. But the offense is suited around the quarterback. It's a quarterback-friendly offense. You still have excellent wideouts. So a guy that I'm very, very excited about, and I'm just not that concerned about replacing Hendon Hooker. If you can maximize your potential, the sky is the limit for what Joe Milton could potentially become within Tennessee's offense.
A lot of interesting things there from Greg McElroy. I think it's funny, though. Anytime you find yourself in front of a microphone on the internet, you feel like you always have to defend yourself and kind of make excuses for why you're saying what you're saying. So it's funny that Greg McElroy kind of has to do that there. But a couple of things that I like. Joe Milton has to continue to progress. We've seen Joe Milton get better. What he was in 2021 when he lost the job. And yeah, we know he went down hurt, but we saw him struggle early with accuracy, especially deep shots, had guys running free, wide open down the field. And the frustration was at an all-time high when the tension was already there in this fan base going into 2021. Everybody was divided. Everybody was behind a different quarterback, whether that be Harrison Bailey, Joe Milton, Hendon Hooker. Nobody was that guy. Joe Milton goes down, Hendon Hooker comes in, takes over, and that's all she wrote. The fan base is united. We're all pulling in one direction, and Hendon Hooker is kind of our Josh Dobbs, if that makes sense. And I'm going to touch on that here in just a second. Josh Dobbs and Butch Jones. We'll come back to that point. But we saw Joe Milton get better from 2021 to 2022. Progression. He improved his completion percentage by 13 points from 2021 to 2022. And I get it. You know, 2022 was a lot of mop-up duty. He had the Vanderbilt game. We also saw what he did in the Orange Bowl against Clemson. 19 of 28, 251 yards and 3 touchdowns. Joe Milton played a good football game, but he was also sacked 4 times in that Orange Bowl. How good is this offensive line in 2023? How big of a factor are they in how good Joe Milton can be? Talked about having the weapons all around him, quarterback-friendly offense. I think the question for Tennessee fans, when we talk about Joe Milton, And we've talked this to death, but it's the truth. Which Joe Milton do we get? Do we get the Joe Milton from the Orange Bowl, or do we get the Joe Milton from 2021? And look, I mentioned Butch Jones. I mentioned Josh Dobbs. And in no way, shape, or form, again, this is me being Greg McElroy having to defend myself. I'm not comparing Josh Heupel to Butch Jones at all. It's the polar opposites, polar opposites. But we saw what Josh Dobbs did for Butch Jones. Led him to 2 9-win seasons as a junior and as a senior in 2015, 2016. Tennessee goes 9-4, won the Outback Bowl in 2015, won the Music City Bowl in 2016. Josh Dobbs off to the NFL 2017. Butch Jones goes 4-6. He's fired, and that's the end of the used car salesman in Knoxville. Josh Dobbs saved Butch Jones. Josh Dobbs, you're talking about a coach that went 5-7 in 2013, 7-6 in 2014. Then he rode the coattails of Josh Dobbs in 2015, 2016 to 9-win seasons. Dobbs off to the NFL, the wheels fall off. Now, I think Josh Heupel is going to be fine. I think Josh Heupel has proven that his offense works, whether that be at Missouri as an offensive coordinator, at Central Florida as a head coach. He comes to Tennessee. We've seen what he's been able to do here. How much of that was Hendon Hooker and his elusiveness and the way he can stretch plays? Hendon Hooker was a guy that could single-handedly pick up this football team, put them on his back, and carry them to victory. And I know when we look back at that Alabama game, we talk about Jalen Hyatt, and Jalen Hyatt became a legend on that night. But how many of those wins were on the back of Hendon Hooker? Can Joe Milton be that guy? Is Joe Milton ready to be that guy? And I think when we look at Joe Milton, it almost comes as a way of battered VAWLS syndrome, right? We look at it, which Joe are we going to get? Which Joe are we going to get? Are we getting the 2021 Joe, or are we getting the Orange Bowl Joe? And you know, we look at Butch Jones and Josh Dobbs. We thought Butch Jones was the guy. He was so close. And now imagine, looking back, how many times do we say on this channel, on live streams, fan call-in shows, somebody always brings it up. Can you imagine some of those Butch Jones teams being coached by Josh Heupel? How high-powered the offense would have been? It's battered VAWLS syndrome because we are expecting the worst Joe Milton. And you hear Greg McElroy talk there. And the confidence in him to say that Joe Milton's going to be just fine. It's not a problem to replace Hendon Hooker. And I'm sitting here going, man, is Hendon Hooker the reason we had so much success? And then you hear an analyst like McElroy say, it's not going to be a problem to replace him. Whereas we as fans, if we're being honest, you're going into 2023. I can sit here and pretend to be confident and say Tennessee's going to go win 10, 11. They're going to go undefeated. They're going to win a college football playoff. Do you truly believe that sitting here in April? Or is that battered VAWLS syndrome starting to sneak in? Oh, Joe's going to struggle with accuracy. You heard what happened in scrimmage number 1. They had to punt the first four drives. Joe didn't have the accuracy. Joe's not going to get it done. That negative energy, that negative battered VAWLS syndrome is always lurking. And I said it last year. Josh Heupel is the cure for battered VAWLS syndrome, but maybe I need to see just a little bit more. Maybe I need to see Joe Milton have that success. So what do you guys say? Hit the comment section. Again, I hope you guys listened to what I said yesterday in the video compared to today. This is Joe Milton's football team. I'm fully behind Joe Milton. The best thing for us is for Nico to just play in mop-up duty, continue to develop and get better, and then take over. It's going to be awesome to see Hendon Hooker get drafted and go to the NFL. Can Joe Milton get to the league? Follow that up. Let Nico play 3 years, 3 and done. I just want Nico for 3 and done, get him to the NFL. And then Tennessee becomes a pipeline for quarterbacks, and we're back. We're back. If Joe Milton succeeds and gets to the NFL, Tennessee is back. Recruiting is going to skyrocket. But I want to hear from you guys. Hit that comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Joe Milton, dark horse Heisman candidate? Or do we have a quarterback competition on our hands? As always, smash the thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out the merch, bonfire.com/store/talkinballs. I ask you, do you like the content around here? You can contribute to what we are building if you hit that join button down below. It's just $1 a month. $1 a month to become a member of this channel. We have 20,000 subscribers. If I get a fraction of you guys to click that join button, I would greatly appreciate it. You get custom Talkin' Balls emojis, access to fan call-in shows, all kinds of fun perks and benefits. But I would appreciate the support. You guys are the only reason I can do this thing full-time. The members of the channel make it possible. Look, ad revenue, not that great on YouTube. That's not where it's at. You guys are the ones that support me and give me this opportunity. So I appreciate that. I'm grateful for that. But that's going to do it for this one. This is the Talking Balls Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.